The finale of The Burning Girls begins with Wrigley phoning Flo and telling her how he feels. She is convinced by Wiggly's act, not knowing what he is planning to do with her mother. Rosie storms inside the house and reveals to Flo that Wrigley planned the attack on them at Mary's house. They lowered him into the well using a rope. The mystery man makes it to Jack and Flo's house across the chapel. He gets in through the back door, has some food, and finally falls exhausted onto the couch. Wrigley buries Sappho's body in the crypt and takes Jack inside the chapel, where she sees a noose hanging at the top of the altar. He instructs Jack to hang herself. To persuade her further, he brings Rosie to the fore with a knife to her throat. After keeping up the charade for a bit, they reveal that they are in cahoots. Rosie and Wrigley even share a kiss. Wrigley wants to kill Jack because she knows his secret. Wrigley killed Reverend Fletcher. Why was Reverend Fletcher killed? Well, it wasn't just Wrigley, Rosie was also involved. Wrigley's motivation stemmed from Fletcher feigning interest in Saffron. Wrigley was quite happy with his aunt before Fletcher came into their lives. Saffron instantly fell for his charms, but Wrigley knew he was a homosexual and was only using her. Rosie's motivations came into play because of Fletcher's investigation into the vault and how it was affecting the Harper family. When Jack does not get up on the altar, Wrigley brings out Flo to coerce her. However, Jack throws the stool from the altar in their direction and the chapel catches on fire. Flo and Rosie tussle with each other as Wrigley tries to suffocate Jack. His jacket catches on fire and Jack is able to get her hands on a knife. Without hesitance, she stabs him in the abdomen and leaves him on the stairs. Who is the mystery man? While Flo and Rosie escape through the front door, Jack is stuck. It is the mystery man who breaks in from the back door and saves Jack's life. Before she can say anything to him, he disappears and Flo embraces Jack. The police take over the matter, but Rosie is not convicted. He claims that Wrigley was threatening her to cooperate and gets away with it. Wrigley died in the fire, and that's the end of the story. Joan Hartman picks up Jack from the Henfield station and reveals that one of the bodies found in the well is suspected to be that of Mary. The other is not Joy, as it is an older woman's skeleton. Jack decides to send Flo back to Nottingham to stay with a friend for a few days as she finishes their business in Chapel Croft. We finally learn the identity of the mystery man as Jack takes a sandwich and a bottle of water to Mary's house. That man is Jacob, and Jack Brooks is actually Mary. It is quite surreal to see the revelation as the brother-sister duo hug each other. Jacob also reveals that the other body in the well is that of Judith, their mother, who killed Benjamin Grady. It is revealed in a flashback that it was Jacob who stabbed the exorcism knife into Grady's neck and killed him. He untied his sister, who also stabbed Grady once in the stomach. Jacob killed Jack's, Mary, husband because he was abusive and regularly beat her up. To make sure he cannot harm anyone else, Mary reluctantly phones the police and Jacob is sent back into prison. Emma meets Jack near the burnt chapel. Emma is convinced that Rosie is pure evil and that she indirectly killed Izzy on the fateful day. Emma also finds evidence on her phone that Rosie wasn't merely Wrigley's puppet. Jack encourages her to go to the police with her findings, and she does. Rosie is arrested and will get the help she needs. Why did Reverend Marsh bury Grady's body in the vault? Jack goes to the Marsh residence and has a quiet, private word with him. She reveals to Marsh her identity, although he has some idea of who she is. Judith called Marsh that night to dispose of Grady's body. But since Marsh couldn't drive, Jack was certain he had help. He tells her in a whisper the person who helped him with everything. Marsh also nods when Jack accuses him of burying Grady's body in the vault because he did not want the church's reputation to be affected. The Burning Girls ending explained. It is revealed that Clara killed Joy by pushing her down into the well. It is actually her body down there with Judith's. Clara was infatuated with Grady and did not believe for one bit that he had any relations with Joy. Jack tearfully shows her scars from that night and screams in her face that Grady raped her repeatedly. It was Clara who helped Marsh bring back the body to the chapel. Jack holds a memorial for Joy near the chapel to finally put her friend to rest. God indeed had sent her back to Chapel Croft for a reason. Jack resigns from her position and leaves Chapel Croft. She seems to have made a loyal friend in Mike, who promises to send her a postcard. It is revealed that Jack and Flo are starting a new life in Sydney, and that Jack has finally given up the collar and the life of being a reverend. The episode review: I really did not see that twist coming. The Burning Girls ends on a deeply satisfying note, concluding all the subplots and mysteries it ignited. I wondered what else would the finale offer after the fire at the chapel so early into the runtime. But respect to the creatives and writers for giving closure to Mary's character and affording Morton enough time to do justice to her pain. The revolting protagonists of one of Chapel Croft's darkest nights will suffer with the haunting truth of their despicable crimes, at least in the fictional world. The only complaint I would have with the final episode is the weak prefacing of Rosie and Wrigley's relationship. We saw a lot of time being wasted on following empty leads in the show. Subplots like this one weren't shored up as much given the fear of the secrets being spilled out ahead of time. And it does leave some bitter taste. Nonetheless, a thumbs up to episode 6 of The Burning Girls,